Okay, the last bit here, Valerius Maximus. Part 9. I shall touch upon, Attingam, those also, eos quoque, of whose safety was given, because I was overwhelmed or overdone by, in their own criminal trials or whatever, they were overdone or overturned by the famousness of their proximorums, by the how well known and famous their family members are. So they're safe because of family achievements or something. Accusative. Aetalius Calatinus, he was a reum. He was accused or on trial in the betrayal of his city of Sonora. He was fully infamous and of this imminent danger by a few words of his father-in-law. Okay, Soccari's aren't truly proximorum. Proximorum usually means blood, where adphonites, they're usually in-laws. Anyway, he was subtracted, he was taken away from this danger by a few words of his father-in-law, Q Maximus. So he affirmed to these people that if in the crime he had discovered his son-in-law to have been sontem, guilty, he would have direpturum, he would have broken off, he would have ruptured from rumpo their connection by marriage himself. Continuo enim, for immediately the populace, the people, almost already having their opinion or sentiment explored or decided, they conceded to the judgment of this one man. Ratus populus, it's a group even though it's singular, they thought it would be indignum not to trust or believe the testimony of one to whom in the most difficult times of the Republic they remember having entrusted their army to him well, and he must have done well as well. 10. 8.1.10. People who have been absolved. M. also Aemilius Scaurus. He was a reus, he was accused of repetundering, of stealing money or embezzling or something, to such an extent that he brought into the courtroom a very deplorable defence in ruinosis. Was compelling against him, when his accusator said by the law himself he was able to announce that he had 120 men who would give testimony, and he wouldn't refuse from absolving this reus, this defendant, if he could name the same amount of people, another 120 men, in which had been in the province, who would say that he had abstulicited nothing. So he'd bring 120 men who said that he had stolen, if the defendant could find 120 men in the province who said he hadn't, with such a good condition that he was not able to use. Okay, so it continues on a bit. So Tarman, looks like even with these conditions he didn't do that, but nevertheless, on account of his very ancient or old nobility of his family and the recent memory of his father, he was released, absolved. 11. But quem ad modum, how or just as in the same way, the splendour of very ample men, very eminent, prominent men, in protecting the accused, there they prevail with a lot of influence. Thus that in Premendix non sale able multum. Okay, so the same way they protected them when they wanted to oppress or condemn people, clearly they had a bit of power as well. Quin etiam, why even it's evident to these guilty people, the noxus. So while these famous people were impugnating rather accurately or fiercely these people, it actually helped them. Like I said, what's going on is, so very influential people do well at protecting people, but it does not have much power clearly in having them crushed or sentenced. So those who are evidently guilty and, well, rather fiercely they are impugned or fought against, it helps them. Where P. Scipio Amialis, this guy is El Cotta, amongst the people he accused this other guy. Now, this guy up here, I'm pretty sure I read Cicero defend him. Where the hell was that? Successfully defended by Cicero, but then convicted of electoral wrongdoing and went into exile. Yeah, I thought that was there somewhere. Okay. Of whose case, although it was dug out with a lot of very, very serious incriminations or crimes, 77 times had been dilated or amplified or delayed. And to the ultimate, in the 8th case in the court, he was absolved because people were fearing that the very special amplitude or powers of the accuser, they were thinking, would be what sends him into condemnation. So he was tried 7 times. In the 8th time, people just thought, this guy's got too much power, we better let him go. Which I believe these people thought with themselves. They were thinking to themselves, we don't want someone seeking the head of another person or seeking triumphs and trophies and spoils and to defer the beaks of beaten ships into the courtroom. So let him remain terrible against the enemy, but the safety of the citizens, let it not be followed up or prosecuted, relying on his glory, tanto frago, such a breaking of a citizen. So when influential people want to prosecute someone, it was thought best leave these sort of people fighting the enemy and not terrorizing Romans. 12. So venomous the jury against the most excellent accuser, just as tamquam, they were very soft in an inferior, someone who's low down the social rung in this Rio, in this accuser, in longe. So in this guy's fortunes, they were very soft by far. Calidus of wherever this is, Bonanesis, he was deprehended. He was caught in the cubicle of a husband at night time. Because of this, he was indicted for the reason of adultery. Into Maximus, in very serious waves of infamy, he somehow emerged, just as if he was holding a fragment of a shipwreck. He had grasped a type which is fully very light and flimsy type of defence. Okay, for he affirmed that himself was there because of the love of a boy slave. That's why he was peductum there. That's why he was led there. The place was suspect. The time was suspect. The persona of the mattress familia, a part of familia is the head of the household. The mattress familia is the matron of the house. She was suspect. Even the boy's youthfulness was suspect. But this confession of his crime of libido for a slave boy liberated him of this intemperance, or what do they call it? Lasciviousness or something. Okay, Daily Dictionary. Imperentia, arrogance, but also immoderation and licentiousness. Yeah. Okay, 13, the last one. This is more remiss. This is a lighter sort of thing. But this, Aliquanto, is a little bit of an example of more serious material. When the brothers Calini, in the case of parricide, was said to have committed parricide, killing the father, who were nati, born in a splendid social rungs of Tarangiene, someplace, of whose father was T. Callius, when he was quiescing, when he was resting in his cubicle, and his philis with his sons in another cubicle, in another bed, he was interrupted. So the father was killed when he was sleeping, and the boys were sleeping in another bed. But neither was quisquam, neither was anyone, either a slave or a free person, in Venator found, which pertained to the suspicion of this slaughter, there was this one thing named where they were absolved, and that was because the plain fact to the jurymen that the door was open and they were found sleeping. Illos inventos esses dormientes. Okay, so somnus. Sleep is the most certain pointer or indicator or whatever of the security of these innocents. These innocent people were secure. Anyway, this sleep brought some help to these wretched people, for it was judged that as the nature of accusers non-recuperated, that they hadn't ran away, and with their father Ochisio dead, over the wounds and the blood of themselves would be able to take any rest. So I guess maybe they had blood on them because they were sleeping that close to him, and they figured if it was judged that if they had killed him, they would have run away or something.